welcome to Art by Clark, and I'm Mrs. Clark, and do I have an awesome lesson for you. It's called Cool and Warm Modern Landscapes. Just kind of give you an idea, the cool colors and the warm colors, and these are two variations of what we're doing. So the supplies we need today aren't very much. All we need is a piece of paper, any kind you have around the house. You need crayons or pastels, and you need an eraser. I'll explain the eraser later. So I'm going to let you go and gather your supplies, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started. Okay, let's get started. Now, like I said, this is called the Cool and Warm Modern Landscapes. And as you can see here, I use the warm colors and the cool colors. And let's review what the warm colors and cool colors are. The warm color family are the first three colors of the family, which really symbolize heat, warmth. So if it was going to be hot out, you would symbolize it as red. The cool color family, on the other hand, are the other three colors of the rainbow, which is blue, green, and the dark purples. And yes, indigo would be in there, but most of the time we don't have indigo. So how this is going to work today is that we're either going to do a night sky with the moon, where we'll do the cool colors in the sky and the warm colored landscape, or we will do a daytime sky where we'll do the sun in the sky and do a cool colored landscape. And as you see, the landscapes are very broad, very simple. They're just to symbolize. And that's called modern art. So we're going to do that abstract. So now that we went over all this, we have to know that we have the sky with concentric circles and the land has hills and mountains. So let's pull these aside, and we're going to grab our piece of paper. And you're welcome to use a pencil if you want. I know I didn't put that on the supplies, but I'm going to use a crayon, good old-fashioned acrylic crayon. And we're going to start at the bottom. And the bottom, we're going to do 2 fingers. And, oh, just a little keynote. You can draw whatever kind of landscape, and you can place the moon or sun wherever you want, or you can copy me, whichever you want to do. So anyway, 2 fingers, and I'm going to bring the hill down. Then I'm going to bring one over here, and what I'm doing when I stop the line is I'm creating depth. Now, let's go over some of the elements of the art here. We have lines, shapes, color, lots of color. Texture is the way we're coloring it in, and you can add all sorts of symbols if you want and patterns. And then we're adding space or depth to our piece. And there may even be more elements. There's 7 elements, and most of the time they are in all pieces of artwork. So back to what we were saying about 2 fingers. We drew the first line, and then this line stopped here so that it creates depth. So now the next line, I'm going to stop at that line. So now it looks like this is in front of this, is in front of this. And then you have one more. And now let's do that horizon line. A horizon line is actually the line that goes horizontal, that is between the earth and the sky. But sometimes on the horizon line, you may have mountains or other things on it. But ours has mountains. So this time, I'm going to draw a mountain, let me see, right here. Then I'm going to put one sort of behind it, but towards the edge. And then one more that's going to be behind that one. Now I have to decide where I want my sun or moon. Since I have a lot of space here, and you can fill your mountains all the way over, I'm going to do it right here. And I'll probably do the sun. Let's see, let's do some concentric circles. Oh no, I went off the paper. Here, let's show you. Well, that's okay. If you go off the paper, just keep finishing up your circles. So my next one, I'm just going to go here, but then I'm going to stop with some mountains in front. I'm going to continue it over here, and it looks like that's all I can do. So let me see. Let's do one more. And maybe I'll even do one more. There we go. So now that I have it drawn, I'm going to color it. Now in my crayons, I have 3 crayons, red, orange, and yellow. Those are going to be for my sky. Some crayon packs have pink. You're welcome to use pink. Pink is a tint of red and white, so it makes pink. So red is a warm color. For my cool colors, I have more available. I have greens, some blues, and a purple. So I'll be able to fill this up more. So I'm going to get started. Like I said, I'm going to choose the warm colors for the sky. I'm going to do a daytime sun and then do a cool color landscape. So let me get started. I'm going to color a little faster, just so you don't have to wait for me to finish. And then when I finish, we'll move on to the cool colors. Okay, welcome back. Now that I've finished the nice, beautiful sunset, warm color sky, we're going to do the mountains and the landscape in the cool colors. And the coolness of this is also, I have a lot more colors to choose from. So my purple is a very cool color purple. Sometimes you have like a warmer, like a redder purple. That could probably go with the warm colors. It all depends on what crayons you have, or oil pastels. I really don't recommend markers for this project, just because we want to do some highlights at the end, and highlights would be much more difficult with markers, so that's why I wanted to stay more with crayons this time around. So as you see, purple, let me do a green. And some ask, do they have to do exactly what I'm doing? Never. You can always change it up, do different colors, but definitely stick to the families of cool and warm colors. And let me see, let's do a lighter blue here. So what we're going to do here is probably going to speed it up. So you don't have to watch me color all the cool colors now. But what I'm going to do is finish up this mountain and then head to the landscape. And then we'll come back together. We'll talk about what the next step is. our back. Now the next step, oddly enough, is that we're going to use our black crayon or pastel again. Now I know I drew with mine, but I didn't do my lines thick enough. I've smeared them. So basically, we're just going to go over it and make a nice thick line. I like to rotate my paper, kind of go over any of the spots that I may have gone over the lines, and try not to press too hard because I could tell you from experience I've broken a couple crayons. Crayons could be so soft. And I have great crayon sharpener, just not with me. So I'm gonna have to get one. Okay. So as you see, it's really coming together once you kind of thicken and blacken those lines. If you did it with pencil, then fully understand why we have to do this. Here we go. Let's just finish that little top. This gives it a little more dimension, especially since we've added such nice depth to our picture. There we go. Lastly, our circles. You may not want these lines as thick as mine. I just wanted some nice thick lines. I'd gone over a couple of them, so smeared them up. There we go. Down to my final smaller circles. And then I'll show you my last little trick. There we go. There we go. Much better. So, I mentioned in the beginning that you needed a pencil, but not really a pencil, but an eraser. I like to use a pencil eraser, and that's to put the highlight in. A highlight is the lightest part of an object. And as you see, the sun is here. So our highlights are all going to be on this side of the mountains. So with my eraser, because I'm not using pastel, and if I use pastel, then I could just smear it, you know, kind of smudge it with paper towel. With a crayon, here's a little trick I learned. You can erase. You have to do it slowly. Be patient, because sometimes it doesn't want to come up, but it will come up in time. And if you see, it's adding a highlight. And make sure it's on the side that your sun or moon is on. Well, that looks good. These came up nice. And you'll see a little marks. You gotta wipe them off. Down here, the sun's probably gonna be about right here. It's up to you how big you want to do your mark, because it is the landscape. And here's a little sample of when you see highlights. Have you ever been to the beach and the sun hits the water? Well, that reflection causes a line on the water. That is a highlight. And it always just adds a little more depth to your picture, and we've definitely done that today. So here we go. Take those little bits of crayon off. I'll put, let me see, I'd say it's probably about right here. Again, the darker it is, the more you're going to see it. You just have to be patient because you're going to get these little crayon bits. Over here, the sun would be about here, I would say. You can do it as big as you want. Probably going to keep them about that big. And the last one would probably be there. And if this was water, you might want to add some more lines for waves. Mine are just some landscape. So, and another little trick you can do is like by taking it and you can color darker underneath it. You can pop it too. Like that. Like that. And look at that. By doing the warm colors and the cool colors, we made some awesome, cool, and warm modern landscapes. The last step, I always say, is you need to sign your most awesome work. So I'm going to sign it over here because this blue is a little lighter. I'm going to write Clark. And look at that. Hey, you know, on my other one, I missed a spot. Let's fix that. Okay. So, just to review, we learned the warm colors, the cool colors, abstract landscape, where we go from the front to the middle to the back. So there's your space. And then we even added some highlights into it. Boy, I had fun. I don't know if you did, but look at this. I did this one and this one. And if you see, one is a nighttime sky and one is a daytime sky. Cannot wait to see what you guys make. So wait till the next lesson. It is going to be just as fun as this one. So until then, bye.